extractive industry goes in, rapes, the 95% of the money goes out of the local economy, and it shows. It's the poorest region in the country. And you look at it, wherever there's mining, the economy is not vibrant.
And activities connected with getting valuable or useful minerals from the ground, for example, coal, diamonds, or gold.
So, basically, mining is more than just degradation of of the environment. I mean, it is more of providing the things that we need in our daily lives, especially at this point in time. Since we have a saying that things that we don't get from agriculture these are the things that we need to mine. Since basically our metals which actually powers our society today, these are materials that we cannot grow. These are things that are being mined. These are things that being dug up under the ground, and then these are being processed to become the metals we know them. Such as, for very instance, ang lansang. These are things nga dili nimo siya pwede mag-grow naturally. These are all processed where it involves the use of our mineral resources.
When you say, yun sila, mostly pag makadungog sila mining, kay mainod sila na makaguba daw sa environment, kay of course, pag wind mining, ma-disturb ba yun ang environment, pero which is wala sila kabalo na kanang sa mining, which is yung gina-practice naman, responsible mining, kay na-rehabilitation ni after sa pag-disturb sa environment. Then, also, anapin sila na kanang may mga happenings karon na makuan ang nature, ang tubig, pero depende lang din lang siya kung sige gina-practice ninyo. Depende na siya sa mining company if gina-practice din ang responsible mining kay. Ngayon kag responsible mining kay after ma-disturb niyo yung mga environment, na rehabilitation after, magtanim of trees or any form na kanang makuan na disturb na environment.
So aside from deforestation, another issue that is being faced by the mining companies is the water contamination. Since processing of metal ores or processing of ores will actually involve the use of several chemicals, and then this needs to be treated. So some of the things that are being fed by media is that pollution is actually something that comes with mining. So, although these are things that are actually mandated by the government, I mean the protection of the environment, since the main law that governs mineral development in our country actually focus on safeguarding our environment. So, sustainable development was already injected in our laws. So, these are things that are true for some. However, for responsible mineral development, wherein abiding in the law is a primary concern and a primary, how do you call this? A primary, kalang, ilawit ang goal, kibali, is that they should abide to the law. So, under law, there are actions that are necessary to take to safeguard the environment. And if ever man nga kuan jud, like may mga discharges that have affected the water quality of the river, I think there are already instances or cases wherein a mining company has successfully transformed the polluted or the affected water system back to its original or to the state before such discharges. Well, I think there are a lot of misconceptions that people know than the benefits of mining. So, one of it is that mining does not do good. And then another thing is that mining, it just profits the company or the rich. It is not pro people, or it is something that is unethical, since displacement of our brothers and sisters in the hinterlands is common when mining exists or when mining operation occurs. So I think these are misconceptions because they are really misconceptions. So, um, in terms of our indigenous brothers and sisters, there is a law governing on treating issues which involves them. So we have the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, which actually mandates any operations. Let's just put it in the context of mining that before the operation will begin, they should be given, or the company must secure the free, prior, and informed consent. Free, 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 prior, and informed consent, meaning that this group actually agreed, or they actually gave their free will, or not really free will, they give their, how do you say this? They give their approval for that particular activity. And then it doesn't end there because for responsible miners or for responsible mining companies, they have actually allocated a lot of things for these individuals who used to be in the area for their for the development of their community. So for another thing is that so it's not true that when there is mining, poverty is equated to it, because at some point there are areas where mining actually exists that is very competitive enough, or which has better state than those with no mining. So it's not true, and it's one of the biggest misconception about mining. Well, before we educate people what responsible mining is, I think the very first thing we need to do is to educate them what mining is. Because by that, things would follow. And I think that responsible mining is not just, it is not just an idea. It is existing in the context of the Philippines. And I think that responsible mining is here to stay. Because another thing, let me just go back to another question about the misconception. Many people do not know. Many people do not know that there are two types of mining: the small scale and the large scale mining. These mining activities, they're actually they are protected by law. They are allowed by law. So what is lacking in our context is the implementation of these laws, because we have laws. I think these laws actually are good because laws are made for the benefit or for the welfare of the people. Although there are inconsistencies regarding some issues or in some of the provisions of the law. So I think that if the law is, if they are made for the good of the industry or for the good of the people, I think they must be implemented properly. So I think that's what's missing in our industry as of the moment. So yeah.
Then, sa kuan po tong sikat-sikat pa kayo ang issue sa mining nga destructive kayo siya, nagbuhat pud mi og page sa Facebook kay kabalo na ta social media kay grabe ang influence sa ato karon. So, through social media kung mag-share ta og mga knowledge about mining tinuod dili fake news kay ma-aware pod ang mga tao kung unsa jud ang mining.
So when we say build, of course, kinahanglan tag mga materials of course, sa pag-build, which is bakal, mga ingana, semento, ingana. So which is kana nga mga material is gina-produce sa mining industry. So if we say nga naay ingana nga proyekto ang atong government nga build, kinahanglan sila og more materials pa ingana. So kung inganang mahitabo, kinahanglan sila og more pang product gikan sa mining industry. So, pinaagi po siguroan na mo-boom ang mining industry. Then, if mo-boom ang mining industry, kailangan po nga mas responsible ang mga mine engineer, mga tao sa dili na kay pataka lang og kanang sa tawag ni pataka lang og extract og mga minerals para lang makaproduce og ingana, but of course dapat responsible po sa
So karon kabalo man ta karon nga ang build project ni President is to fast track the project sa mga infrastructures, labi na sa mga roads and mainly sa mga roads gyud. So ang iyang connection sa context sa mining is syempre kung ang gobyerno gusto sila nga i-fast track nila mga trabaho, like so siya kanang dako siya nga impact sa economical side sa mining.